Good afternoon, thank you. Welcome to our first podcast of the year for our good friends and brothers of our university. We want to thank you very much. I am CEO 256 Uganda, the host of this, Nicholas. I have brilliant young men here who are university stakeholders, policy analysts, good students that we cherish and love for this year. They are the future of this country and the future of this generation. Welcome to the podcast.
Once again, I'm much humbled. I'm moderator.
Yes.
My name is Prosper Mutevi. I'm aspiring as the Guild Representative Councillor for Bakati. I'm glad to be part.
Thank you very much, our viewers. This is Beinomugisa Brian B. Omugorozi, the mouthpiece for the stewards, and I'm a policy analyst. Glad to be with you this evening.
Yeah, with due respect, I'm Fidel Peter Kateu, aspiring Guild President 2022-2023. I'm also glad to be on this podium.
That's it for now. We are so happy, we're glad these people have turned up. However much we should have had a bigger audience than expected, but today it was so a busy day to us and everyone. So today we didn't have the large number expected, which is good to us. We shall utilize the time and be together. So guys, welcome. You know, this country is very funny. Things are challenging, the economy is challenging. So whoever misses, we think it's because of the economy. So Prosper, welcome. One of the biggest things as to why I invited you here, I invited him here, was to ask you politely, in one or two words, what do you think is that biggest challenge, the biggest challenge on top of your page, on top of your list, that you'd like to tackle as a student leader?
Our dear moderator of today's podcast. Tackling about your question, like in a word or two, I would think now the biggest challenge before my desk as a student leader once I'm through is the students' empowerment. Quite often we have had very many issues on where students have not been empowered, like students have not been given that entitlement to take part in the making of decisions that affect them. And on the long run, you find that now the issues and policies are being imposed on students time and again when students are not aware. So me, I would feel that now the bigger challenge that we need to address as students leaders is that empowerment of students, like the inclusivity of all students in the formulation and the coming up of policies that again embark and affect students. So as a student leader, if I'm through, I'm promising that I will basically talk about that students' empowerment as a foundation for every happy steward in his or her career or profession at Bishop Stewart University. Thank you, our dear moderator.
Thank you, Prosper. I think he's so articulate. He dreams of the land to be there. Hopefully it will be canon when he one day becomes a leader. But the policy analyst of the day, Brian, I was one day attempted to be a leader at campus, a guild president. We don't know. In oblivion, we didn't know where you went. I was there in the morning. I heard that Brian is no longer a candidate in the guild race. But today I invite him as a student who has been here for a while, 3 years down the road. Mr. Brian, what do you think could have been that challenge that would put Prosper, put Kateu, sort of immediately if they got into power?
Thank you very much, our moderator tonight. Like they have told you once again, I'm Beinomugisa Brian and the mouthpiece for the stewards. I believe there are quite a number of challenges in our institution, but then the one outstanding challenge is the mindset. We need to change the mindset of the stakeholders, whereby they have a thinking that they are on top of everything, and whenever they are making decisions, they don't involve these other stakeholders, let's say the students. For example, I believe in an institution whereby the students are the major stakeholders. They are involved in decision making. Let's say there is a decision that is going to be taken. The student representatives should be at the forefront. Therefore, we need the Magufulification of our institution, whereby these students can come and give their views and they are respected. We should not judge a student by the virtue of the maybe religion, maybe culture, maybe family background. We should give them chance to exercise their rights. If it is politics, let them be fully involved. If it is talents, let them be fully involved, and they are given a chance to do whatever and express whatever they want. That is my own analysis of that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brian. I am very, very much humbled that you gave us your view. Hopefully, if you became a leader, you would be the guy to take us to the promised land. I invited you here for today to tell him that if they got into the leadership, really you would be a supportive guy to them, gave them the ideas. Of recent, Mao told Kanari Mugume that despite the forces taking place in the country, despite the marriage breakdowns, despite everything, you still went ahead and married. So you shouldn't question me that why would I trust President Museveni despite all his issues with trust. So Kateu, you're coming to a place, the guild president place of this campus, which has been quite promising with the zealous campaigns, and at the end of the day we haven't seen much so far, but a little bit has been coming out. So you assure us that really you have that one thing that you're looking up to, that the Muguruzi will be proud about, I will be proud about. Your speaker, I don't know if he becomes a speaker or not, but a normal student who is out there sees me, I'm out of that. So Mr. Kateu, take over and give us your hint on that.
Alright, thank you once again, dear moderator. Once again, I'm Kateu Peter Fidel, aspiring guild president 2020-2023. First and foremost, what I think we should revamp to first is clearly realization only. Because once we realize who we are, once we realize what belongs to us, what we realize what we are supposed to do, once we realize what we are entitled to put in place, or entitled to influence, or entitled to even work out we as students, that's where we shall get out of all this mess. Actually, there is no problem that has no solution, and at the moment we have all realized that we all suffer our own problems according to our faculties, courses and programs we do. But the only solution to that is simply realization. Period. One, if we realize that the most power we have is entitled to us, and it is given to us by the Constitution itself, at the university level itself, and more so at the national level. That's where we shall have to wake up and stand up in solidarity to defend what belongs to us, to influence what does not favor us, and also have a say and maybe have an opinion on whatever is meant to be with us, or that is meant to live with us, let's say policies. In that way, I would call upon our dear stewards that it's high time we woke up and realized our capability, and realized our power, and realized the strength we have, we as stewards, and realized the real impact we can put on our well-being, so as we can clear out this mess. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Peter. Now, despite everything, at the end of the day, we shall have a winner, we shall have a loser. But we are all winners in any election of Africa. We dance the party, dance everything. So, of late, I think you've been watching TV. The TV has been a good place to be on, Prosper. I've enjoyed the TV lately. I'd like to ask you one thing. As leaders, you're coming up. There has been a very big issue. Of late, we lost our brother, Bewate, from Uganda Christian University at Makerere during the rally of the FDC, NOP and NRM campaigns. The party politics in universities. It is traced way back in the 1960s. We see people like Chintu Musoke, Bidan Sari, travel to India and Pakistan to study and come back and liberate their countries. These movements have been here for a long time and a good time, and these movements have helped countries to grow. These university movements have been breeding academies for political parties. You are aware that from the university you join a political party, so it becomes a very good academy for you as a person. So it becomes an academy for a political party. But these academies must have regulations. These academies must have the way they operate. They should not operate in a way which is more hooligan, which is more traverse to the law. So I pose this question to Prosper, to Brian, to Kateu. Mr. Prosper.
Yes, moderator.
My question is,
Yes.
what is about the political parties, the affiliations in universities of Uganda? Thank you.
Thank you very much, our dear moderator of today's podcast. Once again, my name is Prosper Mutebi. I'm aspiring to be the guild representative councillor for Bakat in the BSU guild elections 2022-2023. But now submitting on the question tonight that what would we think about the affiliation of political parties in university politics? We well understand that actually Uganda lives in a multi-party democratic system, right, whereby every party has their own ideology, every party comes up with their own interests and party out to the electorates. But me, one thing I've believed about is that now politics is more or less of a debate, right? You would find that even when one is a candidate himself, either maybe an NNM flag bearer, either a NUP flag bearer, or a DP flag bearer, or even an FDC flag bearer, whatsoever affiliations that one as a candidate has, still competence remains to individual basis, right? So me, I would think that the political affiliations, yes, we can affiliate ourselves to political denominations as maybe the upcoming youth, simply because we would like to explore the heights and see maybe what NUP base is about, what FDC base is about. But me, I would think that specifically as university students, we should not now majorly focus on the political affiliation of a candidate, but rather would seek now the personality capabilities of someone. Because now me being a NUP flag bearer does not mean that I scoop out the best ideologies in my head. Yes, I can be a good shouter, or yes, I can be a good campaign manager of NUP, but rather deep inside me, you might find I'm not good at ideology. So me, I would think now political parties, their only role at the university is to maybe help people identify themselves, but rather political affiliations cannot make the real leaders that we need at the university setting of system, right? Because me, I feel that however one could be maybe a party flag bearer or what, still it gets back to the individual basis, that one is always competent, one is always realistic, one is always optimistic, regardless of any political affiliation. Like I said, politics is more of less like debate. One would be in very much good suits, one would be very much smart for a debate round, one would be on stage but would not submit, right? Regardless of the good suit that one could be having. But whereas one would be just there very shabby or maybe somehow smart, but submits much than the one in good suits, right? So like I said, politics is more or less like debate. Maybe the political affiliations, as I would say, specifically the political parties, they would just maybe enable us identify ourselves. This is a NUP dyad, this is an FDC dyad. But when it comes to the political ideology that really the electorates must target at, I would prefer the personal capabilities. I beg to submit.
Thank you, and thank you, Prosper Mutebi. I like the submission. Now, I have a challenge there. Mr. Brian.
Yes.
Idealism and populism, where do you go? Idealism or populism?
I will go for idealism because I believe in an individual's idea and which ideas are going to work. We look at the practicability of the ideas. Because you may be popular, but you find at the end of the day you're not capable of delivering. Let's take an example. There is a wave when there is a scenario where people are brought into power by fate. For example, now it is a wave of NUP. You find in every government institution, whoever has the flag for NUP will take it. But you find deep down there we've missed out on good leaders. So I believe in idealism. Can we look out for leaders who have good ideas, who have practicable ideas that if they are brought into practice, they are going to yield for these students? Because at the end of the day, I believe, for example, Prosper, who is aspiring to lead Bishop Stewart, there is no Bishop Stewart for NUP. There is no Bishop Stewart for NLM. There is no Bishop Stewart for NLM, but there is Bishop Stewart for the Stewarts. So if he comes with a popular party and he is incapable, at the end of the day, he is not going to deliver. And the party will not help us. So I believe let us look out for individuals who have ideas and ideas that are practicable so that we go for individual merit, not the party merit. Thank you.
You see now, me myself, I come from a village sometime back. In the villages, you meet the ladies. The ladies are blossoming, the drums are drumming, people are running behind borders, they are making noise. The only word you hear is, I need 1,000, I need a bottle of alcohol, I need lunch. The only things you hear in Elale, and it affects us so much. These are our uncles, relatives, so they're running behind Elale, they're making noise, they're saying they want meals, they want matchbox, they want tea, they want just soap, a bar of soap. And this has come into our universities. People are asking for better things. These are educated people at degree levels, the cream of the country. They are no longer the ignorant people, but they're the cream of the country. Sometime back, my good friend who was my teacher, sometime back, he's called the cream de la cream. It's the cream de la cream of the country. Mr. Kateu Peter, a good president who is incoming for over 5,000 people on this hill. What do you say about that? Idealism and populism?
Idealism and populism, they walk hand in hand. However, in the first instance, we value so much idealism, then idealism is the one which brings about populism. If you have an idea, then you become popular of that idea instead. In that influence, I have to talk about how these things have led to wrong leadership and maybe have increased the mess we live in and exist in. For example, we have looked at the wave brought by political parties and whatsoever. But in this instance, the political parties catch the people's mind with the ideas they bring about. For example, it's not wrong if someone belonged to a given political party or belonged to another political party, and it is not wrong in any way because the Constitution guides us and guards us and protects us against that. So it's not an offense in any way. However, in this instance, we look at the ideas and the practicability of the ideas people hold as individuals. However, in this instance, there is no idea that is wrong in anyone's perception, but in someone's perception, somewhere else, it might be weighing less than someone's idea in comparison. For example, if a candidate of NUP carries an idea of, let's say, I won't be too specific, but if a candidate of NUP carries an idea that differs from that one of NLM, it's exact that they differ. But now here we go for what weighs higher according to one's perspective. And that's where we have to stand and say that populism goes hand in hand with ideology, the ideologism. And in that way, you have to defend your popularism with your ideas. That's how you become popular. I submit.
So, the incoming guild president poses one of the biggest and the biggest stakes right now. He tells me that, well, the ideas, you're ideologically charged, and here you come, you're popular. But you see nowadays, it's so challenging that someone who is popular sometimes, he may lack the idea fiber, the moral fiber. So, Prosper, now I again come back to you as our incoming leader. And even you and the other one, at one time you're incoming as leaders of this country. If not here, somewhere there. My friend who left Mukisa Joyce told me that we have done our best here and we shall do our best there. So if we don't do our best here, we can again do it outside there. So Mr. Prosper, I'd like to ask you, just describe for me that one leader in just 5 words. The students should vote in 5 words. That one super leader that you believe can liberate your institution, your people. Thank you.
Thank you very much, our dear moderator. I would think basically the stewards or any electorate would vote for a leader who is competent, who is consensual, who is consultative, and who is realistic in every other formulation of a policy or a decision that is upcoming. Thank you.
Thank you. I think my camera guy, who is on the camera, behind the camera, you have to capture this moment where Prosper says consensual and he gives you the 5 bars he has given you. I want you to clip out that thing and send it out there. Brian, the 5 stakes for that leader people should select in the coming election?
Thank you very much. I think I will summarize it in one slogan of mine.
Yes.
I need a leader who is the mouthpiece for the less privileged. So long as you look out for that leader who is going to speak for the less privileged, all things are going to be okay, because this is a person who will represent, in this case, the stewards. He will speak for the stewards, and in whatever he's doing, he will consider in his mind that he is a leader of people and by the people, and therefore he will do the best to praise the people that sent him into power. Thank you.
I believe that one leader can be in Kateu. If not in Kateu, it's in other candidates. If not other candidates, it's in some other candidate, some other GRC. So Kateu, that leader may be inside you. And it may be also somewhere else at some other university or some other institution. We want it said that general landmark, that general bar for that one leader the country should vote for. So in just 5 words.
Right. I stand in to describe a leader this country would vote for. 1. This country should go for a leader who enables them realize themselves. Secondly, a leader who is dependable. Thirdly, a leader who listens and guides. Fourthly, a leader who is able to implement. And on the 5th note, a leader who is able to maintain and confer excellency and progress in one way of improving the standards a given society stays. I submit.
Thank you very much. We are back, and we are back so fresh, zealous, and we are like no any other fresh as before, and we are just here to dissect everything, bring it on board. I am again CEO, Project 56 Uganda. I'm the host, Nicholas, the president of Streets, commonly known in the urban skirts of Mbarara. So now my people who have been here on board, Kateu, Brian Mugorozi, the famous mouthpiece of stewards, and Prosper Mutebi. Now, you know, in any other society, for us as people who host the podcasts, personally, I'm not affiliated with most of the university programs. I may not know them, but here's someone who has been in the university. You know that there is just one thing I want to say today. What would you want to tell your people? Be like, you know, here I am, Prosper. This is what I'm coming to do for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, our today's moderator. Once again, I'm Prosper Mutebi, the aspiring GRC for Bakad. Basically, me, what I would like to submit is that usually we have lived at this mighty university of ours. We have been students with passion and patriotism towards whatever our university must front forward. But on several rare occasions, we have missed out the concept of quality. Like, we have not had the best quality that we deserve. We have not had the best quality in any aspect, be it academia, be it outside class, be it whatsoever. We have not had quality. So Prosper comes with a concept of qualitative analysis, right? That for every other leader, once you are in the formulation of policies and making any decision, you must first base on quality before any other factor. And that is why my manifesto is hinged on a point of qualitative analysis and adaptability. That after the best policy or after the best decision has been made by a leader, then now it must be adapted and brought into use and implementation and effectiveness. So, dear stewards, I'm here pledging for quality in whatsoever aspect, be it outside class, be it during class, be it whatsoever, be it sports, be it what. We must base ourselves on quality, and after we have analyzed the best quality policies, we adapt them, we implement them, and we bring them into use. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mutebi Prosper. He says the university has not seen the quality, it has not identified the quality. I don't know which quality is that. He will come in and tell us. You know, at one time, Brian wanted to be a guild president. I've always asked him, you moved away. We didn't see the dream come true. We didn't see the implementation. We didn't see the mouthpiece. We didn't see all that you held for the university. So Brian Mugorozi, he comes in to tell us that please, this is what I was seeing. And I want Kateu, Prosper, or any other leader out there, whoever wins, to do it for me. I will help you do it. Mr. Brian Mugorozi, welcome to the podcast again. Give us that one thing that you really felt like.
Thank you very much once again, our moderator. Like you said, I was the mouthpiece for the stewards, and I was looking forward to seeing that that institution where there is the magnification of our institution and everything is working clear. Stewards are well represented. So my humble plea to these incoming leaders is one: when you get into power, do the best. Represent these stewards to your best. Hear what their plea is and be able to represent them in terms of policy making, in terms of delivery, and in everything. Remember, these are stewards. They are all looking forward to you. Their hopes are in you, and they have trusted you with their mandates. So represent them. Don't be corrupted. I know at times when you leaders get into power, you're given peanuts, you find at the end you're corrupted and you lose the track. You find you're not representing the stewards. And therefore, my other pre-call to the stewards, the electorates, as you're voting this time, I want you to look out for leaders, not misleaders. I am repeating, leaders, not misleaders. Because our institution needs to be magnified. I am not going to be magniloquent or circumloquicious. I want to be direct. Look out for leaders. Don't go for peanuts. Let these people not lie you. Let them not convince you. I know very many people are going to come. They tell you this and this. They tell you vote this ideology, vote this ideology. But you as electorates, sit down. Look at a person who is going to represent your views. Look at a person who is going to build a tremendous PSU, where every steward is going to be proud of. That is my call. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brian Omugorozi. I don't know that dream that died along the way. Will it come true one day? The future holds so much for you. The parliament waits, the local councils are waiting. Even at one time, you can attempt to go to Entebbe at the State House and become a president. I don't know.
I believe so.
But I have heard that the president, the son, and the grandson are also planning to take over. This university has had a series of good presidents, from Joe to Crispus, to Denmark, to Wilson, to Emma, many other leaders back down the road. I think, considering the history of the university and the guild presidents with their various achievements, Kateu Peter thinks that he comes with a different chapter that will see his name written on the walls of the university, because apparently you may not know much that has been done by the past guild presidents. So Kateu Peter, my question to you would be, what makes you think that at one time I'll come here, 20 years down the road, when I'm almost 40 years, and people will tell me this was Kateu Peter's era, Mr. Peter?
Right. In a humble submission, I will first applaud all the previous guild presidents and the current guild government, for they have all endeavored to pursue and put in place all that we see and all we have worked on, all we have lived with, all we have existed with all their capacity and knowledge. However, at some instances, they have gotten some challenges, inconsistencies that have counteracted them along the way. In my own view, I would come in the way of briefly elaborating and explaining much more of what we hold, we as students, what is our value and what is embedded in us, more especially in realizing what we really belong to, what we really have to put in place, what we really deserve, what we really need, we as students. However, in the same context, we would look at what we dream of most, because the richest place on this world is a graveyard of people who have unfulfilled visions, unfulfilled desires, unfulfilled dreams. In this way, I stand to call upon us, for we got different visions in our own settings, in our own selves, that it's the time we implemented our own visions to reality, in a way of restoring our values as students. How? We have to restore our values by realizing our potential. We have to restore our values by realizing who we are. We have to restore our values by realizing what belongs to us as students, what belongs to us as a university, because we are the real banners of the university. In the same context, I would come in the same perception to recommend and call us on to vote for the way forward, with a fresh potential that will fulfill our own vision to reality as we fight to restore our values and we realize our heights. My name is Fidel Peter Kateu, aspiring guild president. Thank you
very much. This university, 2003, 2004, 2005, it's now 18 years down the road. I think we have not seen that name that has been outstanding on the walls of the university, that this was a guild president. I think Kateu Peter may be coming with a different chapter for the university. Like Omugorozi had it and it was blocked along the way. So Omugorozi will help Kateu Peter to become what he's meant to be. Oh, Omugorozi will bring some other person, I don't know, but the future holds so much for you guys. I want to thank you for turning up, as usual, as a country, and I think I had Prosper Mutebi with me here. I had Mr. Brian Omugorozi, the mouthpiece of stewards. I had Peter Fidel Kateu. He thinks he will really write the name on the walls. Finally, my name is Nicholas E, CEO and project founder 256 Uganda. I was your host. Till we meet next time, thank you. Have a good evening. Best of the best. Thank you.